Hello and welcome to What the F*** Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Tuesday, May 10th, 2022. Welcome to day 476. Joe Biden said that tackling inflation is his top domestic priority as the average price for a gallon of gas nationwide hit $4.37. The highest price since the year 2000 when AAA started keeping track. The Customer Price Index, meanwhile, which will be released Wednesday, is expected to report that inflation is running above 8%, the highest level in 40 years. Biden also accused Republicans of pursuing an extreme agenda that would raise taxes on working-class voters and help the wealthiest Americans and biggest corporations. The GOP plan would require all Americans to pay some federal income taxes, as well as ban debt ceiling increases and require all federal programs to expire every 5 years unless renewed by Congress. Roughly half of Americans do not pay federal income taxes because they don't earn enough. Biden said, quote, "The bottom line is this. Americans have a choice right now between two paths reflecting two very different sets of values. My plan attacks inflation and lowers the deficit. The other path is the ultra-MAGA plan," end quote. Meanwhile, a group of House and Senate Democrats are introducing legislation to tighten judicial ethics laws, which would require more disclosure, a Supreme Court code of conduct, and a judicial recusal process. The Supreme Court is the only court in the United States that does not follow a judicial code of ethics. The bill comes following the leaked Supreme Court draft opinion that would strike down Roe v. Wade, and news that the wife of Justice Clarence Thomas repeatedly urged White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows to take steps to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Separately, Senator Bob Casey, a self-described pro-life Democrat, said that he would support legislation to codify Roe v. Wade into law. Wednesday's procedural vote to open the debate on the bill to codify Roe, however, is still expected to fall short of the 60 votes necessary to proceed in the 50-50 divided Senate. Moving on, an administrative law judge in Georgia ruled that Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is allowed to stay on the ballot, despite claims by a group of voters that she engaged in an insurrection due to her support for the January 6th attack on the Capitol. In his 19-page opinion, Judge Charles Boudreaux said the challengers failed to establish that Greene, quote, engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or gave aid or comfort to the enemies thereof under the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, end quote. The ruling allows Greene to stay on the ballot in Georgia for the state's 14th congressional district in the May 24th primary. Meanwhile, a federal judge dismissed Donald Trump's lawsuit seeking to reinstate his Twitter account, but Elon Musk said that he would reverse Trump's permanent ban if his deal to buy the social network goes through. Twitter permanently suspended Trump in January 2021 after a mob of his supporters stormed the Capitol, the company citing, quote, risk of further incitement of violence, end quote. Musk called the ban a morally bad decision that was foolish in the extreme because it, quote, alienated a large part of the country and did not ultimately result in Donald Trump not having a voice, end quote. It's unclear if Trump would rejoin Twitter, but his advisors warned that rejoining would depress the value of his recently launched social media site, Truth Social, which has so far struggled to gain an audience. And finally, a new report by the World Meteorological Organization finds that the Earth has a 50-50 chance of temporarily exceeding the 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial global warming threshold. The annual average of global near-surface temperatures for any year over the next 5 years is forecast to be between 1.1 and 1.7 degrees Celsius higher than pre-industrial levels, which is the average temperatures between the years 1850 and 1900. The United Kingdom's Meteorological Office said there is a 93% chance that the world will set a record for the hottest year by the end of 2026, and that there's also a 93% chance that the 5 years from 2022 to 2026 will be the hottest on record. And in the polls, Yahoo News says 51% of voters expressed some confidence in the Supreme Court, down from 70% in September 2020. That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Amditis.